Good morning, everybody. Ross Allen Skorzewski in the studio here live on this Wednesday morning for another edition, episode, session, whatever you would like to call it, of Wednesday Morning Cup of Crazy with me. So why don't you sit down, buckle your seats, grab your cup of coffee, and get ready to have a little bit of a righteous rant about personal growth and development and growth strategies. It's an honor to be able to spend the next 10 minutes or so with you. Like I said, we're kind of bringing these down to quick, chewable little bites that you can meditate on and process and think about all day long. Not that I want to infiltrate your brain and cause you to think about the words that are coming out of my mouth all day long, but maybe, yes, I am. How crazy is that? It's like an infection. Ross is in my brain, I can't get him out, or like a virus, but in a good way, because we're talking about bringing about a better representation of yourself to the world that you do life in every day, and that's personal and professional, okay? And I even say professional to those of you who are not actually in the workforce. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you're still a professional. You're a professional mama, nurturer, caregiver, and that is awesome. So with that, before we go any further, before I talk about anything else, everybody grab your cup of organic coffee and join me for another cleansing sip of Java. Yeah, I need to say no more. Thanks for joining me. I'm gonna leave the set now. No, just kidding. Thank you guys so much for all the continued feedback and everything. Had a great time down in Florida, actually Lake Mary, Florida, with Dr. Dan Yachter at Elevation Health with Dr. Patrick Lynn and Fancy Nancy Gruzzi. We were down there for a Hormone Connection seminar, and I joined you guys last week from the parking lot of Elevation Health's practice, and it was awesome. We were talking about encouragement, and you know, the quick synopsis of that was really, and I even had a conversation with a couple that I was coaching last night for an up-and-coming marriage that I'm doing, and you know, was going through some personal growth assessments with them, and one of the individuals started talking about how important it is to them to be encouraged, that thriving on encouragement is something that she feels that she really has to have in order to thrive every day. And you know, it did come up, and like I said last week, you know, some people have just been given the green light when it comes to giving encouragement, because either, you know, they don't do because, well, my dad didn't do it, my mom didn't do it, my boss doesn't do it, so-and-so doesn't do it, so therefore I never got it, so I don't know how to give it. And I sat there and I kind of pulled out what little hairs I have left in a few spots. I mean, I was, you know, grabbing inside of my ears and everything else, trying to find something that was longer than what this is, just so I could yank it out in frustration. And I said, guys, I don't know where we've come. Actually, I do. It's just a breakdown in a lot of societal communication levels where our relationships are really taking the hit because we've become so consumed with just letting people off the hook to where they don't have to personally grow or develop themselves anymore. But the idea that you never got something sets the stage for you to not being able to have to be that person that gives it to the world around you is just insane to me. So I challenge this man and this individual to say, look, just because you never got encouragement doesn't mean that you don't have to give it to the world around you. Just because your dad or your mom didn't really give it to you in spades doesn't mean that you can't learn. And now this, I would say, it's gonna take a little bit of a learning curve for him to become proficient, if you will, in giving encouragement. But I don't know, in all honesty, you know, there's books out there, love languages, all that other stuff that can tell people how you can win with me. There's flag page assessment, you know, we want affirmation for what we do, we want approval for the way that we act, we want sensitivity to our feelings and appreciation for who we are as a person. I get all of these things. There's different ways of validating and giving encouragement, but you just can't say, well, I don't give it or I don't need it because I never got it. Baloney! Give it to the world around you, especially when they deserve it, because that's really the only way that they know that they're winning and they're on the right path to validating you and connecting with you so that you can, in turn, do life with them for a long period of time. Beautiful. Enough said. Here we go. Quick rant. Here, today, emulation. when it comes to personal growth and development. I love some of the things that I've been digesting recently in some books, and obviously I've got a few that are at the top. One of them, just because I've been inspired by my best friend and my boss, Dr. Patrick Flynn, is John Maxwell. He's an icon in the industry of leadership and personal growth and development, and he speaks all over the country, and he's got great thought process. And in talking about this, one of the things that I started to read and really began to ring true with me as we talk about personal growth and development is we all have the desire to go somewhere that we've never been before when it comes to personal growth and development. But the question comes down to this: how hard is it when you're the only person you have to follow? So when we talk about emulation or modeling when it comes to personal growth and development, my question to you this morning is, number one, how are you doing? How are you doing with your personal growth and development strategies? How are you doing with distractions that are coming in that are trying to derail you from that individual that you want to develop to bring that best representation of yourself out every day? How are you doing with that? Who's speaking into your life? We've talked about this all along the way. Now, emulation, though, is a beautiful thing because really what it's saying in these books, when we read books, whether it's by John Maxwell, Zig Ziglar, or whomever, Brian Tracy, there's a lot of people out there, that what they are putting on these pages, they're giving you insights, wisdom, and information for you to emulate. But even that, a book can only take you so far. And not everybody, as we know, that when you decide to take ownership of a personal growth and development strategy, not everybody around you is going to do it with you. But you got to find those like-minded thinkers who are in pursuit of the same thing that you want, or even better yet, you have to find those individuals who have been where you want to go with a proven track record so that you can emulate their patterns of success. Well, what about that? I mean, I want to be me. I mean, Ross still needs to be Ross. I mean, I don't want to be Dr. Patrick Flynn. I mean, he always says, well, just let me be me, and I don't want, no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you forego being who you are as an individual, but sometimes when it comes to us putting into motion patterns of behavior leading towards time and consistency, you need to emulate others, and it's not formulaic, but it becomes a pattern until it becomes habitual to where you can turn it into Ross's pattern of growth that works for him. It's no different than when I started leading worship in the church years ago. Really it came down to this. I knew how to sing, there's no doubt about that, but when it came to leading congregational worship, I didn't really have a clue. I was a part of musicals in high school, so what did I start to do? I started to get videos of worship leaders that resonated with me. That was like Ron Canoli and a few other greats out there, and all these people, I started to listen to how they sang, how they led the corporate worship service, and I started to pick up on their subtle nuances, and I embraced that and emulated that. And lo and behold, after a period of time of emulating and modeling, I found myself becoming very proficient in what it was that they were doing. So now I could take it to the next level and put my thumbprint on it and personalize it. And it carries with me even to this day. And I know there's been people that within the church, and I know I'm using a church setting because that's where I've been for the past 20 years, is there are people that emulate my style of worship, but that started because I emulated somebody else. Even with public speaking and doing what I'm doing now, I didn't just hop on the stage and become a good speaker and a good connector. I learned from great individuals. One of them was on our show yesterday that you need to watch. Pastor Mark Gungor, my father-in-law and CEO and founder of Laugh Your Way to a Better Marriage. He does marriage enrichment speaking. He's a great connector. I've emulated, I've gleaned from him his patterns of success and incorporated them into my life, excuse me, so that I can see patterns of consistency, that I can see growth, and it's actually proven, and then I can make it my own. I want to encourage you. Just like me, being with Wellness Way now for the last year and some months, one of the people that is in my life that I emulate when it comes to personal growth and development and growth strategies is Dr. Patrick Flynn, best friend. I work with him, we do great things together, but I let him speak into my life, and sometimes it's hard. Why? Because he's got a proven track record, and I do my best to emulate, even though he runs so fast that I can't keep up with him. But I know there are things that I can glean and emulate, and that in time, after consistency and small little victories and growth, I can begin to personalize it and make it my own. I encourage you, real quick, just to think about this emulation. It's simply just this. It's the effort to match or surpass a person or achievement, typically by imitation. I'm not asking you to be somebody else. I'm not asking you to, put your character and your passions in life on the shelf just so that you can become a clone to somebody else and achieve their dreams and their successes. No, I'm saying imitate and emulate in the hopes that you can find your stride, personalize it, make it yours, and in the hopes of really, truly coming to a place where, you can see patterns of your past that need to die, literally just go away. And that new you comes out every day and you become supercharged and excited, but never stop emulating, never stop modeling, because at some point in time too, someone's gonna be watching you and they will emulate and model after you. Hey guys and gals, thank you so much for joining me on this Wednesday morning cup of crazy. I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday.